What's up, sports bettors? Alex here, and what I'm going to be doing is taking you through some sharp fantasy plays on PrizePicks. Okay, so we talk about these fantasy sites. Sometimes I have plays on Underdog, sometimes it's Thrive, sometimes it's PrizePicks. And really, I'm just showing you where I'm finding value, right? I place every single bet that I give out on this YouTube. You may remember a lot of these, the big wins, the close losses, the big wins, all that sort of thing. I'm riding with you guys, with my own money. These are just plays I think are sharp that I'm betting, that I'm sharing with you. You can take them, you cannot take them. If I don't have a PrizePicks video one day, probably didn't place a bet on PrizePicks. So let's get into it. So what's interesting about these fantasy sites, right, if you're new to the OddsJam YouTube, is overs, unders, it doesn't matter what you select. You know, like you make a pick, so you can see right here, any two picks you select, you're getting 20 to win 60. Overs, unders, it doesn't matter. 20 to win 60. So PrizePicks is essentially a fixed parlay platform. That's what I like to call it, right? The odds don't change depending on if you select the over or the under. They just give you fixed payouts on parlays. You have a 2-pick parlay, you're getting 20 to win 60. You got a 3-pick parlay, as you'll see right here, you're getting 20 to win 100. So it really is just a fixed parlay platform. Overs, unders, 20 to win 100. So what you're doing in a 5-pick flex play, we've gone through this math in that PrizePicks, you know, they're giving you the implied juice of minus 119 when you're playing 5-pick flexes, is you just want to look for value at minus 119. So here, there's an NFL prop. So I'm taking it. Michael Gallup, under 3.5 receptions, minus 119 implied odds. That's what we're getting on PrizePicks in a 5-pick flex play. So you'll notice on PrizePicks, you'll see minus 137 and minus 119. So minus 137 is the implied price for a 2-leg power play. When you're playing a 5-pick flex play, the implied odds are much better. You know, like this is a play that looks great in a 5-pick flex because we're getting minus 119 and all the bookies are pricing this minus 136 to like minus 167 on Bet Online. So as a sharp bettor, you know, there are a lot of ways to skin the cat and use data to find 5 sharp plays, you know, on PrizePicks. You can use the screen, as I like to call it, and hunt for discrepancies. So sometimes you'll notice there are big gaps between where PrizePicks is setting the line and where other sportsbooks are setting the line. So I like to check that out sometimes. And then other times I just use this EV tool. And all the EV tool does is it scans the market. It takes all these lines on PrizePicks. I mean, the amount of crap you can bet on PrizePicks and all these sports books is pretty crazy. They offer so many player props, so much stuff like that. So all OddsJam does is it consolidates all this data and shows you where the value is. So this is the main tool that I use, the positive EV betting tool. And Gallup under 3.5 receptions is the first play you got to be on. All the bookies pricing at minus 136 to minus 167. Find value as a sharp bettor. Hit bets with value, rinse and repeat. It's really that simple. Next, we go to the NHL. Doesn't matter. Finding value, beating the vig, beating the juice, that applies to betting on the NHL, NBA, tennis, placing bets on PrizePicks, Barstool, Desert Diamond, Twin Spires, Bet Rivers. Doesn't frickin' matter. Just find plays with value, hit them, rinse and repeat. Here we're going with a hockey play. Why do we like it? Just like the previous example, we have all these other data points, the sportsbook odds. You know, Bet Rivers has this minus 165, other sportsbooks minus 145, minus 148. You know, Pinnacle and Bet Online, 2 of the sharpest bookmakers in the world. Pinnacle is well regarded as the most efficient, sharpest betting market. They're pricing this at minus 148. We're getting minus 119. Finding value, enough to beat the vig. I hit it, rinse and repeat. That's the second play I'm on in my 5-pick flex. So you can see the profit margins going down, and you can filter for whatever sportsbooks you want to see. So here I just have PrizePicks and Underdog. And this is to show you this video is about PrizePicks and not Underdog because the top 3 plays are on PrizePicks. So next we have another hockey prop. This time we're taking an over. Once again, using all the data in this market, minus 125, minus 140 to be like, yeah, dang, getting value at minus 119, enough to beat the vig, beat the juice, right? We're getting better odds. You're always getting better odds than the no vig odds. That's the fair odds. No vig odds, fair odds. So here the no vig odds are minus 129. We're getting minus 119. So you're getting value to it. It's kind of like if a car dealer buys a car for $10,000 and then sells it for $20,000, he probably thought it was worth somewhere in the middle. So when you sold it for $10,000, he thought it was worth $15,000 or something like that, and he'd be able to sell it for more, right? It's the same thing. That's how car dealers make money. They charge their spread. It's the same thing for sportsbooks. They charge their spread. So what you want to do is remove the spread, and that's called the no vig odds or the fair odds, right? Fair odds, no vig odds. Here it's minus 129. We're getting better odds. We're getting value to it, which is exactly what we want. It's kind of like if you had all these sports books, treat them like a little stock exchange. They're all like, yo, this stock is worth, minus 130, 130, 130, 130, whatever. And you see that on all these different sports books. They're all setting lines. They're all taking bets. Sports books are have very sophisticated systems to set their lines, update lines. They move around lines with supply and demand. Just like the stock market, lines are constantly flying around on sports books. And, if once you see enough stock exchanges telling you the stock is worth $300, if you can buy it for $200 on PrizePicks, you should buy the stock for $200 because everyone else is telling you it's worth $300, right? Same thing here, minus 119, ridiculous value. That's play number 2. Then we have a player assist prop. Boom, let's take it. Here we can see a play on underdog. If you do want to roll with underdog, St. Brown over 6.5 receptions. So same concepts apply, you can now sync your sports books with OddsJam. So you can see it's a little complicated for me because WinBet is different in New York. It's like a different app. It's a different company. So you have to keep syncing it. So this is WinBet Arizona. You can see my balance right here, 29,697.99. And if you go to sync sportsbooks, it'll tell you, that's my balance. So this is my Arizona sportsbook, 29,697.99. Boom, exactly what this balance says. And all this does is it pulls, your profit and loss from the sports books to show you your ROI. So I'm going to keep syncing more and more sports books. I have to remember to keep doing it because I have WinBet in Virginia, Arizona, Indiana, so many states. So I have to sync them all to get the actual net profit. But what you'll notice is there are ups and downs. Here we lost a bunch of big bets clearly in a row. Ups and downs, but positive EV betting, it just works, right? We have 19K open on the sports books that I synced, which seems pretty accurate. If we take a look here, just looking at, so we have under 43.5 Vikings Bills, under 47.5. So the same concepts of finding value. Doesn't matter if you're playing on PrizePicks, whatever. Positive EV betting, it just works. You can sync your sports books, place a large sample size of bets. Large sample size, right? You'll see all these bets syncing. Not every positive EV bet wins. This bet may not win. Doesn't mean it was a bad bet. It was a great bet. This is a great play to include in your PrizePicks entry, but you're not, the bet can still lose, of course, right? It's all about finding an edge and winning in the long run. You're investing. You're not just gambling. You are finding an edge, right? So you want a positive ROI. Sync your sports books, place a lot of positive EV bets, you'll see. I'm up 45K on football. I'm down 19K on basketball. I'm down 22K on MMA. Just with the sports books I've synced. I lived in Pennsylvania and bet on sports for 3 years, so I got to sync all those sports books as well. But you get the point, sync this stuff, just so you can see your profit and loss. It's nice to see the gains compound over time. So final play I have is right here. Another shots on goal prop. Some people will be like, yo, why did you have 4 hockey props? It's like, bro, I just placed the ones with value. And here they are. I hit it. I think they're all good. Hopefully you hit it. 5-pick flex play, following the math, understanding the sports book, squeaking out value, hunting for an edge constantly. It's what it's all about. Let's make money.